$43.79.
Not all benefits listed may be available on all plans or a single benefit package. Enrollment in the described plan type may be limited to certain times of the year unless you qualify for a special enrollment period. No obligation to enroll.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Thursday, May 28th. It is the 149th day of the year, and musician John Fogerty has a birthday. For years, 10,000 steps per day has been the recommended activity goal for a healthy lifestyle. But a new study at BYU indicates that walking alone has no effect on weight control. They found essentially no differences between groups who took 10,000 or 15,000 paces per day when controlling for calorie intake. It's not an argument for staying on the couch, though. Brisk activity provides an emotional boost, and exercise tends to curb the appetite, making it easier to reduce calorie intake. So if you're a step counter, keep it up. Just know that the benefits come in a more roundabout way. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more online at almanac.com.
WOON Woonsocket.
Serving the Blackstone Valley with music,
News and sports for you all.
the radio voice of the Woonsocket Call. WOON Woonsocket.
Republican members of the Rhode Island House of Representatives on Wednesday called for the House Oversight Committee to meet regarding the impact of the coronavirus on nursing homes in the state. The request was for the committee to convene with or without permission from House leadership. House Minority Leader Blake Filippi said that the committee needs to urgently review Governor Gina Raimondo's administration's response to the pandemic in nursing homes, which have made up the majority of virus-related deaths in the Ocean State. Raimondo defended her team's response yesterday, while Democratic House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello said House and Senate leadership already decided to form a joint task force for oversight of the public health crisis, including the chair of the House Oversight Committee, which has met and will continue to meet. There will be plenty of different There will be plenty different about working out at gyms and other fitness centers in Rhode Island starting next Monday if the state executes its plan to begin Phase 2 of reopening them. In addition to health screenings, exercisers will have to submit contact tracing information. Masks must also be worn unless 6 feet of social distancing can be maintained easily and continuously. If someone is engaged in rigorous activity and cannot wear a mask, a 6-foot distance rule becomes 14 feet. The Rhode Island Board of Elections is giving voters the option to The Rhode Island Board of Elections is giving voters the option.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel on ON 1240, WOON One Socket Radio.
AM and FM on this Friday morning. It's May 29th. My name's Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning. Around the Coffee and Table, we'll say good morning to Dave Richards. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dave Richards.
Hello there. And on the phone with us this morning, Paul Willett from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Paul.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
I think we're all doing okay so far today. You doing okay,
great.
Paul?
Yeah, good. Well, it's early.
Excellent. So, all right. Paul, time for our first message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. I always tell people we're busy at the Chamber, and throughout everything that's been going on is no exception. We've jumped on the bandwagon for virtual webinars, and we've been offering a lot of those. And coming up on the 10th of June will be another one, and it's called Transforming Business as Usual to the New Normal. It's going to be a guide to employment and employee benefit compliance. There are going to be a couple of attorneys on the phone. There's been a lot of legal questions, like what happens if I want my employees to come back, and you know, they have some concerns for their own health. So they're going to be talking about a lot of those things, and that's going to be on June 10th at the Chamber. It's going to be a lunch and learn, so it's going to be at noontime. If you want to bring a brown bag while you're listening, that's fine. Then on June 16th, we're going to have a virtual information session with HealthSource RI for employers. I know that a lot of people who have been laid off may have lost their health benefits, and so HealthSource RI is going to be discussing some of the programs that they have for businesses. So those are a couple of things that are coming up. We continue to staff at the office in a limited capacity. There's someone there all day, every day. Some of us are working from home, so we're doing alternating schedules. But if anyone has any questions or they're looking for information, they can certainly call the Chamber at 334-1000. Someone will be there to take your call. You can also visit our website at nrichamber.com and check us out and see what we have to offer.
All right, Paul, thank you, and very good. Now, last night, Paul, you know where I was?
I hope you weren't in Minneapolis, but...
It was not in Minneapolis.
I can take a guess. Can I guess?
Go ahead and guess.
Did you go eat on the Diamond at McCoy Stadium?
That's what I did last night.
Oh, my God. I knew it.
Dining at the ballpark was last night for members of the press. So they invited the media out to come out and check it out and see how it went, and had a very good time. So the Paw Sox are going to curbside pick up their food for this weekend, but next weekend they're going to actually have diners on the ballpark, and it's already sold out.
Wow. How's the setup? Is it going to be like just round tables separated, or how are they going to do that?
Basically, yes. Now, they already have a bunch of square picnic tables that seat four very comfortably. Now, you can only have people up to 5 in your party, so if you have a small child, I mean, you can, one parent's going to have to move over a little, and you can sit a child there. You could, if you had to, seat 8 at these tables, but 4 is much more comfortable. So what they did is they all the tables were on the infield, okay, and they were along the outside part of the infield that leads to the outfield, and they were all, I would say, 10 feet apart from each other, and they ran from the third base foul line all the way over to the first base foul line, and then they had another set of tables that were on the infield, but near the infield grass, kind of near where the pitcher's mound is, and they rung it around that way as well. And so they had, I don't know, maybe 20 or so tables that will be set up that people can sit there and still have plenty of space and plenty of distancing between everybody. And the staff is members of the Paw Sox, basically their front office. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to order your food ahead of time. And they have a whole menu that you can pick from between, burgers and hot dogs but they got other things on the menu as well, including pulled pork, and there's a vegan option as well. So what you'll do is you'll order it ahead of time.
By phone or?
Yeah, when you make your reservation.
Okay.
I think you make it. I think you make your choice then. Okay, what do you want to have to eat? And they'll tell you what you can choose from. And then your server comes over and says, okay, this is table 10, and this they have 2 seatings, 5:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. and they'll know you're at table number 10, and this is the so-and-so party. Yes, it is. Okay. And then your server will go and get your drinks. Everything is bottled. So bottled water and bottled soft drinks and like that. And there is beer and wine available as well. I think you have to buy the whole bottle of wine, though, if you're going for wine for the over 21 crowd. And then after you bring your drinks, they just they reiterate what everyone's is having. And once they're in agreement, the server goes away. You know, it's a long walk because they got to walk into the clubhouse. So, and then they come out with your meal, which last night were all in styrofoam boxes to keep everything hot.
Mm-hmm.
And they just give it to you there, and you dine on the ballpark and you on the infield, and you look around. You can see the stands. They have videos running on the big jumbotron they have out in right center field, and music is playing. So and last night it was quite nice. Last night it was a good time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know that you've been on the field several times, Joe, and I've had the opportunity to be on the field. It's almost like you want to take your shoes off and just put your feet in that beautiful grass.
That's right. They really want you to stay off the grass, though.
Yeah. So it's limited just to the dirt surfaces, or?
Well, that's where the tables are set up. Actually, on the infield. So now there weren't any kids there last night. So they had the infield grass kind of roped off, telling you, well, we don't want you to go on there, but maybe they'll let you run around on the outfield grass. That's okay. Yeah. And we say it's dirt for the infield, but it's not really dirt. It's something else, and it's much more compact.
Yeah, it's like a clay type.
Like a clay kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you walked in, you had your there was someone there to meet you, and they had all the guidelines up on a fence. This, are you feeling okay, and that kind of thing, and you had to look at it all and make sure, yep, okay, everything's in the no category. I feel fine. I don't have a fever, that kind of thing. You had to wear a mask as you walked in and as you walked to your table. But as soon as the drinks arrive, well, the masks come off for the people eating. The servers still kept their masks on, but the masks while you eat and drink, and as long as you're staying at your table with your party, then you don't have to put them back on while you're conversing at your table. But then when you're done, masks go back on as you walk out because you're going to be bypassing a lot of people. And as soon as you're done, boy, the staff there came right over and was sanitizing the table you were sitting at.
Nice.
So they had it pretty well organized. So and it went well for their first dry run, I think, yesterday. So they'll be under the gun really next weekend when it's basically sold out to be dining on the diamond. So I hope it's nice weather for next weekend.
Now, are they planning on doing several of them, or?
Well, now they are. After speaking with them a little bit and finding out that this was a success and that their first weekend is already a sellout, they're planning on doing more dates. Basically, definitely more weekends, and it might even expand into the weekdays if demand actually necessitates it. So they do plan on doing a lot more than this coming weekend. June, not the following weekend.
I don't know who came up with the idea, and for other, ballparks are going to be looking at something similar. But it's pretty cool, and it also gives families an opportunity to actually be on the field who never had that chance.
That's right. It's a completely different experience when you're out there and you get to look up at the stands. It's just different. And you're right, Paul. Other minor league teams around the country are doing similar things like this. We were talking last night about what other teams are doing this and having people dine on their baseball fields. And I was told one minor league team, South Carolina. I'm not quite sure where they were, but they're turning their field into a B&B, into a bed and breakfast.
Oh my God!
Where you can sleep at the stadium. Inside the room.
The Paw Sox have done. They I believe it's once a year where the kids can camp out. I don't know if it's connected to the Scouts or whatever, but
it was, yeah.
I forget what it's called, but they've been doing that right along.
They sure have. But the B&B would be a little different. You get to sleep inside the locker rooms.
Oh.
And you have access to the field. You can play catch and stuff like that. So it's just something, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
I heard it was like $1,500 a night to do this. So.
Oh my God.
It's a little steep, but but they're gonna give it. Hey, they're gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. So.
Well, I mean, these are times when you have to get creative.
You do.
You know, I mean, people are starving for some type of sports event, and also, you know, it brings money into the organization that they're not experiencing that right now.
Well, that's it. And they said we gotta do something because there is no cash flow at the moment.
Yep.
So let's try this, and not that it will be the amount of money that they've seen in the past with the stadium sold out, but it's something, and let's see what we can do with it. And when I was talking to Dave about it yesterday, he said he likes when businesses take chances and see what happens. Right, Dave?
Absolutely. Doing nothing is often the wrong course of action.
Right.
Try something, even if it fails, just try something. Do something and keep what works. Try anything and keep what works, as long as nobody gets hurt. Oh, I have several questions here for you, Joe.
Right.
This is a welcome news, of course, that the Pawtucket Red Sox are doing this here in their last. I guess it's going to be an on-season. We have a news story this morning on the wire that many minor league baseball players were let go yesterday. They were cut from rosters, and with more expected as the likelihood of no minor league season grows, so players are now starting to get cut. They won't be getting paychecks, and this isn't good for anybody. I know, of course, game day staff has been cut before because there wasn't any work to do, and they didn't call them in. But they're also laying off some front office staff. Did you hear anything about that down in Pawtucket?
They didn't talk about anything about players being let go or anything about front staff being let go at McCoy. What I did notice is, you know, what they normally do in past years is they bring in like 10 or so interns from around the country to come learn how a baseball team is run. Well, they don't have that. So they don't have that kind of employees. But looking around, I recognized a lot of the front office people that were out who have now been turned into waiters and waitresses, because that's what the duty calls.
Okay, yeah, that's what work there is to be done, right?
Right. Other than that, we don't.
That. How do they handle condiments at the tables? Do you have to order the condiments put on your burgers and dogs before it's brought out to you?
Well, I had the cheeseburger last night and fries, and the cheeseburger came with lettuce, tomatoes, a tomato, and onions, and I don't like that stuff, so I just took mine off. Person sitting next to me ordered a hot dog, and he wanted condiments. So what they did is they kind of like when you go to the ballpark, if you want condiments, you get little packets of the ketchup and the mustard and relish, and they brought it over to you and said, here you go, here's your condiments for you. So that's how they. Mm-hmm.
And my last question about your escapade in Pawtucket last night is, how come I wasn't invited?
I don't know.
I know you have friends in the organization, and when you told me you were going, I said, well, this is obviously, a friends and family soft opening sort of thing. But you said that all the media was invited?
Well, that's what they told me when I got there. And then I did see Channel 6, and I did see Channel 12. I saw Brendan McGare from the Call. I saw another reporter from the Journal, another reporter from the Sun Chronicle out of Attleboro.
Well, I guess they figured they added ON Radio in when they invited you then.
Well, maybe, but
you got to look at the upside of it. It was very humid last night, and it was a little misty, and your hair may have been frizzy, so you dodged a bullet.
We did.
Always look on the bright side, Mr. Willett. Always look on the bright side. That's not bad. But I do love free hot dogs and hamburgers. And it's one of my things that I love.
Well, look into it for families starting after the weekend of June 5th, because they'll be doing it again. If you want to go eat on the ball field, it's a pretty cool experience. All right, Paul, it's time for it. Go ahead, Paul.
I was going to ask what the price is going to be for the general public. I would imagine it's based on what you order.
It is on what you order. They had that pulled pork that came with mac and cheese and coleslaw and some cornbread. I believe that was $10. what I had with the cheeseburger and the French fries, that was $5.
Those are very reasonable prices.
It's your ballpark prices, and then you got to pay for your water and whatever drinks you have. So, your average family is going to spend $20 to $30, I would say, if it's a family of 4.
But those aren't even ballpark prices. Those are very reasonable prices you'll get in a restaurant. But then you have the ambiance of the McCoy Stadium and being outside al fresco and the rest of that. I like it.
So it should work out well. Now, some people don't want to sit outside, and they're still offering that curbside pickup if you're just dying for some ballpark food cooked at the stadium. They're offering their pickup starting this weekend. So that's another chance. That's another chance to buy some food from McCoy. Hey, Paul, it's time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, please.
Well, thank you, Joe. As we ramp up the economy and we move into phase 2 of the reopening for next week, this would be an excellent time, if you're not a member of the Chamber, to take a look at joining the Chamber. We can help you through this process. If you go on a website, there's tons of information there. But more importantly, as you reopen, this would be an excellent time to do some marketing of your business. I know that budgets may be tight, but you'll be surprised at how little it costs to belong to the Chamber. For a small business, we say it's less than $1 a day. The resources that we provide, I mentioned marketing, that's one of the things, but the educational opportunities with the seminars and webinars we're doing. The General Assembly is going to be reconvening, and we have to keep a watchful eye on legislation that could be harmful to business. And we also support legislation that's business-friendly. So there's a lot that the Chamber does behind the scenes. Our networking opportunities right now are a little different than they were. We've been doing Membership Mondays, which is when a member gives a demonstration or at least gives some information on their business. There's an opportunity for folks to introduce themselves online. We are looking ahead, and we're very encouraged that our golf tournament that is happening in the fall will happen. We have that at Kirkbrae Country Club, and Kirkbrae has secured double the amount of carts that they have, so they're going to be adhering to the social distancing standards that have been put in place. So, we're like everybody else, we're making the changes that we have to, but give us a call, 334-1000. Someone is there every day between the hours of 4:30, between the hours of 8:30 and 4:30, and sometimes before and after that. And you can visit our website to learn everything about what we do. So at the Chamber, we say business matters, and particularly during these times, we think that's so true. So that's my second ad for the day.
Okay, Paul, thank you. Comments and questions for the Coffee and Panel can be called in at 766-1240 or email them in, joe@OneSocketRadio.com.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, tell me about your agency.
Sure. We started our agency from scratch, which means we opened with no customers. We have grown because of all the family, friends, and locals that supported us over the years. We are proudly woman-owned and operated since 2006. We're a family business, mother and daughter team, so you get two different generations coming together to get the best of both worlds.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
The Castle Luncheonette will stay open for takeout until further notice. You can still get those wonderful dynamites and fresh clam cakes and chowder to go for either lunch or dinner. Gift cards are available for purchase, too, at the Castle Luncheonette. Diane and the staff at the Castle Luncheonette on Social Street in Woonsocket is ready to serve their entire menu to you, and you can enjoy it in your home. The Castle Luncheonette is ready to serve you. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Music all day, the wonderful Owen way.
Right, day and night, WOON Woonsocket.
Coffee In on ON, AM, and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, and Paul Willett from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce is here as well. And we do have a message to get to that was written into me, Joe at OneSocketRadio.com, and it deals with what Paul mentioned about at the beginning of the program and the things going on out in Minnesota. And a writer says, Minneapolis incident. It was an isolated incident, and they will pay the officers, but this has turned out to be a rebellious fury. My goodness, this city is under siege. People don't realize this, and we are filled with blinding, senseless, and barbaric rage. National Guard, you bet. Off with their heads, I say. Months ago on the Coffee In panel, one member said, we are, quote, making strides with segregation. What? Get real. That will always remain as a problem in this country. All right. I don't know who made that comment on Coffee In. I don't remember it being made, but
neither do I.
In regards to the Minneapolis incident, I mean, it is incredibly surreal if when the police have to leave their police station because it's under siege and it was taken over and set on fire, and some of the police officers had to be rescued by helicopter when they were on the roof of the police station. It doesn't really get much worse than that. Thoughts?
Oh, yes, it does.
It can get worse than that?
Sure.
What, 2 stations on fire?
You have a lot of people who are unhappy, and a lot of people who are just whiny. People who complain, and they don't care why they're unhappy. They just are unhappy, and they're going to make somebody else unhappy until they're made happy again. And that when you put that bit of human nature together with a spark to let it go, and then you bring in all the outside agitators who flocked to Minneapolis as soon as this happened. Now you've got a real stew. So, yeah, it can get worse.
Expanded. There's several protests in many states right now. The thing that I don't understand is that, and I get it. People are upset, and you know to that, Dave, but I've never understood in situations like this what benefit is there to breaking into a store and looting a store and walking out. They showed some footage, somebody walking out with product and everything. How is that? How is that in their heads? Is that satisfying them, I guess? Say, ha-ha, I'm going to get a free TV out of this? It just doesn't make sense to me.
The answer is yes.
Well, it goes to basic human nature. The rule of law is how our society works, and when the rule of law has got you frustrated and you see a chance to give a poke at the rule of law and do things that aren't lawful, and you want to, and you see a benefit, then you can just go do it. And that's wrong. We all know it's wrong, but, and of course, we also have to remind everybody who's watching all this that while there may be many people involved in this, I'm sure that there are millions of people in the area who are just appalled by it, and they are not a part of what's going on. But this is just a chance for that minority percentage of society who don't respect the rule of law to take matters in their own hands.
Yeah, no, I just feel, the whole situation is terrible, but, for businesses in particular who have tried to ride out this COVID crisis, and some of them may in fact be on the brink, to have your business destroyed by fire and looting and everything, it's just another kick in the gut that is heart-wrenching for business owners.
The only thing I can think of is, what these people are thinking is they don't understand why things are going so slow.
Let me stop you right there, Joe, if I just may. You started off with a statement that immediately red flagged in front of my face. You said, what these people are thinking. There's no thinking going on except for the outside agitators coming in to stir things up. There is no thinking going on. If they were thinking, they wouldn't be doing it.
All right. Well, but the point I'm trying to make is they see what has happened. They know who the officer is who was kneeling on the neck of this person that died, and it's 5 days later. Why hasn't he been arrested? And that's what's most frustrating. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for some some police.
Easy.
Well, I know it's easy to understand from our side.
Because it would require a grand jury to be convened, testimony to be gathered, presented, deliberated upon, and then they'd have to say yes or no. That's why he wasn't arrested. It's a grand jury thing. They said that right in the beginning.
Okay.
And I remember that they said it was going to be this will go before a grand jury.
But the people don't want that. They want some.
They want a lynching.
Well, not a lynching, but they want some
more.
Come
on. What makes you think they don't want a lynching?
Well, lynching is killing someone. They want someone arrested and soon, and it's just not going fast enough.
Well, too bad. They have laws.
That doesn't clear them for doing the looting and the rioting and setting police stations on fire. But that's why, in my opinion, that's why
Two wrongs don't make a right. 3 wrongs make it more complicated. 4 wrongs, you got anarchy.
You're right, and I think you're gonna keep having anarchy until something happens in Minnesota, where an arrest or at least an indictment happens.
That will not stop it.
You don't think so?
No. If they did it right away, it wouldn't stop it. Haven't you ever watched a Western?
Sure.
They arrest somebody. It doesn't, and the public's not happy. They grab a rope and they go to the jailhouse to seek justice against that. And they got to wait. Well, we got to wait a couple of months for the circuit judge to come through and have a trial. No way, we ain't waiting. It's been around forever, ever, and unfortunately, society has not matured this rather unattractive trait out of itself.
Why do other protests take place in other parts of the country? I don't understand that, because Denver, Colorado.
That's just Me Too stuff.
We can do it too.
It's sort of like if you go back into the the '60s when the Love Generation, when there was a lot of protests and everything. I mean, you'd interview some people. Why are you here? Oh man, but it's wrong. It's people jump on the bandwagon in some cases just because.
That's true, because I can see they see that they can get some free stuff.
Yeah, well, why would a mayor or a public official or attorney general or something like that in some other state offer their opinion to the news media about it? Very simple. You got news media people who aren't there in the thick of the action, and they want to get something that everyone's talking about on their broadcast, so they will go over and ask the mayor or the councilor or the attorney general what they think about what's going on. And so then, okay, fine, we'll put that on. That becomes news. Why would they say anything? They were asked.
That's right.
They can't do anything about it.
They did that in Boston. They asked the police commissioner.
Exactly.
What he thought about it. He's like, well, it's unfortunate.
Glad it ain't happening here. Next question.
That's right. All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and program and bring the weather forecast, which is being brought to you by DuckDuckGo Privacy. Today we are looking at a mostly cloudy day, although I did see the sun poking out here. High temperature today near 79, and we could have a wind gust today up to 24 miles per hour. Tonight we're looking at cloudy skies and a low temperature around 64, wind gust tonight up to 22 miles per hour. Saturday's weather, we're looking at a mostly cloudy day, chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, high near 80. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low around 57. Sunday, sunny, high near 72. And Monday, mostly sunny and a high near 67. And currently outside, the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. Dave, are we still at 70 degrees?
No, 78, Joe.
Oh. 78 degrees. degrees.
78. By the way, have you tried that DuckDuckGo browser yet?
I have not.
It's a stupid name, but I'll tell you, it's a good browser.
Ed
They also have their own search engine and stuff like that, and like nobody bothers you.
Great. Well, do you want the same internet but more privacy? DuckDuckGo's got you covered. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. DuckDuckGo, privacy simplified. All right, more Coffee and coming your way. Please stay tuned.
At Menard Lockature Funeral Home, we focus on partnering with you to plan a loving remembrance for those we've lost. At any venue of your choice, whether a church or our home, whatever your preference, whether for burial or cremation, planning a loving remembrance with a personal touch is our mission. Special music, a dove or balloon release, even a motorcycle escort, anything that you deem appropriate can be a part of your loving tribute. Menard Lockature Funeral Homes, Woonsocket in Manville.
Call 877-DRIVE-ED.
Who's Ed? That's the number for Levante's Auto School.
You can't wait to get your license. You want to get behind the wheel and drive. Let's roll. You want to be in control, but you gotta learn how to survive. Levante's Auto School shows you how to learn the rules and keep your cool.
Levante's Auto School knows how important it is to be a good driver, so they stress the importance of having a positive attitude behind the wheel. Levante's also makes it extra convenient for busy teenagers by scheduling classes at night, on weekends, during school vacations, and easy makeup schedule. 4-star rated and staffed with patient, experienced instructors. Levante's Auto School, 1-877-DRIVE-ED, accepting Rhode Island and Massachusetts students.
Call 877-DRIVE-ED. Who's Ed?
That's Levante's Auto School.
And now, Levante's Auto School is certified by both Rhode Island and Massachusetts to teach the driver's training course over the Internet. No need to wait. Call now.
Gators Pub has reopened for takeout and delivery. You can order delivery through DoorDash, but for takeout at Gators Pub, call 401-769-2220. 769-2220. Call Gators Pub with your credit card ready. Then when you get to Gators Pub's parking lot, call them back and let them know you're there. Gators Pub curbside takeout hours are Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Gators Pub full menu is offered for takeout and delivery. Gators Pub on Victory Highway, Slatersville reminds you to be on the lookout for weekly promotions and deals. Gators Pub has reopened for takeout and delivery. Hi, Parrot Heads. This is Joe Callahan, your maitre d' in the Tiki Bar every Tuesday night from 6 to 7. 1 full hour of nothing but Jimmy Buffett music. The Tiki Bar is brought to you by attorney Bob Lauder and by the Carew Investment Group.
ON Radio. ON Worldwide.
Coffee in on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Paul Willett from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. This segment of the Coffee In program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper. Dave, would you like to do a commercial for the Valley Breeze newspaper?
What do you want? Unaccustomed as I am to doing commercial copy without anything in front of me, a heads up would have been nice because I could have taken a look at what was in the Valley Breezes. I don't have the papers here. Perhaps they could be brought into the studio so that I could tell everybody what they're missing if they don't pick up their Valley Breeze right now. Obviously, they're being delivered to all the fashionable places in the Blackstone Valley. And if you look, thank you, Denise. And if you looked at the Blackstone, North Smithfield, and Woonsocket edition, you would see some great stories there, like a big color picture about the opening of Christopher's Kitchen and Bar at Market Square. Right there on the street, behind the Jersey barriers. They put together a nice little thing. As a matter of fact, it looks like they're at capacity at that point. And one of their stylish waitresses is serving up a nice meal and some drinks. Also on the front page, there's a great story on The in-depth story, as a matter of fact, from Lauren Clem on the churches preparing to reopen under the new restrictions. That's coming up this weekend. You'll want to take a look at it. And then, of course, you take a look at some of the other things, the mundane, like there's the city's paying more for trash collection, and they're not too happy with that, and residents are a little concerned about the loss of trails and the Gold Property solar proposal over in North Smithfield. And for the Cumberland and Lincoln edition, town is working on new rules to make backyard fires legal. Actually, not being in Cumberland, I didn't realize that they weren't. And they also have Lincoln considering selling land over to North Providence. Some rather compelling stories, interesting things you'll read only in the Valley Breeze. So pick up a copy where you shop today.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. And let's see, the other thing I wanted to bring up, the Boston Marathon been canceled.
Yes.
That was announced yesterday afternoon.
I heard it on the radio this morning.
Yep, and they said, no, we can't do it this year. They're going to do something virtually. Not quite sure what that's going to entail, but first time ever that the Boston Marathon has not been run in its entire history. So just wanted to bring that up. Could I hear Paul in the background there?
Yeah, you heard Paul in the background there. He said 124-year history.
24 years. Okay. Yeah.
Darn, I was going to run this year, too.
They were hoping for September, but after taking another look, they just felt that there's no way that they could pull it off without adhering to social distancing. So,
right. So, Paul, I got a question for you. In terms of Rhode Island, restaurants can reopen this coming Monday as part of Phase 2.
Yep.
Gyms can also reopen, but they both have a number of restrictions.
Yes.
On both of them, and I don't know if these businesses will be able to survive with the restrictions that'll be put on them. Have you heard from any restaurants or gyms and what they plan to do?
Yeah, there's a number of things that, of course, they have to implement. One being that restaurants and hair salons, when you have that close encounter, you're going to have to provide your name and phone number. So for tracking purposes, should there be an outbreak, they will need to contact you. I know that in terms of salons, they're only going to be allowed one person per station in the building. They have to be at least 6 feet apart, the stations, which most of them probably are. But it's going to be very different. You got to wait outside until your appointment is ready to go. Restaurants, they're going to be at 50% capacity. The staff is going to have to wear gloves, masks. Patrons will have to wear masks while they're dining, and obviously they can remove it while they're consuming the food. But it's a small step. They've allowed the outdoor dining, and the indoor is going to be different. Some people might feel uncomfortable with wearing the masks, but we have had some questions, but we are deferring people to the Reopening RI website. There's some good guidance as it relates to Phase 2. So, it's not going to be business as usual, and unfortunately their income is going to suffer, but at least we're taking a step to get there.
Okay, that's true, Paul. The other rules I'm looking at for gyms to reopen, and I'm thinking about not your bigger gyms. I'm thinking of your smaller gyms, like the one we have here in Woonsocket on Diamond Hill Road, the Gym LLC. One of the restrictions is the machines need to be 6 feet apart from one another, and that works out okay with some machines. But if you've ever been in a gym, the treadmills are up against each other, so you're gonna have to pull some out in order to have this 6 feet apart with the treadmills. Well, when I think about the Gym LLC, if they pull out a couple of treadmills, they don't have the room just to store treadmills.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
where do you put?
Whether it be portable storage spaces, but I've thought about that as well. What do you do? Because that equipment is bulky. It's you can't just push it off to one side. You're right. A lot of those, particularly the smaller ones, don't have the space, and I'm sure they'll figure something out. Some may elect not to open at all. That's because it's just too much.
The other thing I was considering about the rules for the gyms that are reopening is water fountains will not be operational, and the locker rooms will be closed.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, well, I guess you could store some of the treadmills in there since people can't go in there anyway. But I just wonder if that will turn people off and say, I'm just not going to, or I'm going to close my membership if I can't. Get water, or I can't use the facilities there. Also, you have to wear a mask while you're exercising, which I kind of odd.
And I think today's probably a good example. The next couple of days are going to be very humid, and people. Are you going to have, if you have respiratory problems? Are you going to be able to breathe under that mask when you're exercising? So it's going to be interesting, but it is what it is, I guess, right?
It is, and it's what we have to deal with at this particular juncture in 2020. So we'll have to see if gyms actually reopen or some decide to stay closed. I know the gym, by the way, the Gym LLC does plan on opening. So we'll see what Judy down there has come up with in terms of keeping the machines 6 feet away from each other.
Just put cinder blocks on the treadmills. Nobody will use them.
Yeah, but
every other one.
Yeah,
I guess you could do.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. I mean, they may not have to actually remove. They can just,
right.
That
way, if one of them breaks down, they're mechanical things. A breakdown could happen on any mechanical thing anytime. Then you simply just, you shut that one down and turn on the one that was sitting fallow.
That reminds me, when I went to the McCoy Stadium last night, parking my car, every other parking space was coned off.
Did they cone off your personal parking space? Because you have your own personal parking space at McCoy, don't you?
Well, I like to think of it as my own personal, but others have used it. I don't have my own there, no. But
you're very soft, Joe. You're very soft.
Sorry about that. I do not have my own personal parking space at McCoy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a designated spot that you drove into whenever you did the games.
Next time my contract comes up, I'll have to ask for that in the negotiations.
I'm sure they'll have that for you waiting in Worcester.
Yes, that's right. So they did, but every other parking space was coned off. So you'll have to deal with that if you go eat dinner at the McCoy Stadium as well. All right, we'll take another break here on the Coffee and program, unless you have something important to come up with, Dave.
No, I mean, what's the normal capacity of McCoy Stadium now? It's between 10 and 12,000, isn't it?
To sit in the stadium, it's about 11,000. Yeah,
about 11. That's what I said, between 10 and 12,000. And if you can only you got 20 tables with a maximum of 4 or 5 people apiece, then you're dealing with under 200 people, including staff and everything. So I don't think you have much problems with every other parking space being unusable.
Oh no, there'll be plenty of room to park. That won't be an issue. All right, this portion of the Coffee and program has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Is your business struggling to be found on Google? Are you still trying to figure out how Facebook works? Are you wasting your money on social media? Do you just need more customers? If you do, then contact the local digital marketing team at Breeze Digital Media in Lincoln. Breeze Digital Media has programs that are approved by Google and Facebook and are designed to grow your business. Packages start at only $199 a month and include easy monthly reporting so you know where your investment is going. Contact Breeze Digital Media for a free marketing analysis of your business today. Call 401-334-9555, extension 154, anytime, or visit breezedigitalmedia.com/offer.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. If you're looking for an investment firm that puts you first and works hard on your behalf, I'd like you to consider us. We're right here in Woonsocket, and we've been in business since 1987. So you don't have to go out of town for an experienced advisor, or work with an advisor based in Boston, New York, or who knows where. Someone you'll probably never meet. We encourage our clients to come to our office and sit down with us as often as they like. Why? Because we like to do business the old-fashioned way. We want to get to know you on a more personal basis so that we're more attuned to your financial needs. So if you're interested in speaking with us for a free, no-obligation consultation to find out how we invest your money, call us, Paul or myself, at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA NSIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Outdoor dining is now being offered at River Falls Restaurant. Come and enjoy your meal with the Blackstone River in the background. You need to make a reservation in order to eat outside at River Falls, so call 401-235-9026 for reservations. And your party needs to be 5 people or less. River Falls Restaurant is ready to provide you with their great burgers, combo meals, seafood, pasta, chicken, veal, and prime rib. Come and enjoy your meal outside at River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket. Call for reservations today, 401-235-9026, 235-9026, River Falls Restaurant. Coffee In on ON, AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan with Paul Willett, and Dave Richards is here as well. And Dave, you had the story this morning about the Woonsocket High School graduation, and it looks like the seniors will be allowed to have a photo opportunity that will make it look like they're crossing the stage to receive their diploma. That's a pretty cool idea.
Well, it is. It's something, if you had... I want to say this just right, because everybody has their own feelings on this, and I'm not saying that anybody's wrong. I'm just saying that what people didn't know, because it wasn't announced, is all the things that were on this list that the Woonsocket Education Department wanted to do for the class of 2020 at the high school. They had a list as long as your arm. The most important thing, of course, is the graduation ceremony. Then they have to figure out how to do the induction of the Honor Society people. Then they have to do the awards night. Then they have to take care of the Career and Technical Center. They have to do sports awards banquet, senior awards night, general stuff going on. And they came out with the, okay, what's going to have to be virtual graduation. We found a company that's going to make a nice representation of this for us. Everybody gets a chance to be part of the show. You're not just sitting there watching a video. You have things that are going on that have been contributed from all parties. And I personally think they've made some wonderful decisions. And they got all those things out into the public. Now, obviously, some people are disappointed, and they would be, because what people want is, like, for instance, a parent wants for their kids what they had when they were graduating. Totally understandable. But, I mean, into each life some disappointment must fall. But what nobody knew is that there were all these other things on the list that once they had the graduation handled, they started working on seeing how many of those other things on the list they could bring in. And that was, you saw this yesterday with the announcement of the, actually it was Wednesday, with the announcement of the crossing the stage and taking the pictures. Now, obviously, this isn't during the graduation ceremony, but it's there so that you can have some pictures. And yes, they're going to allow the student to pull their mask down or take it off for just an instant while the pictures are being taken for posterity. Not so with the family members, but just the graduate. And it's all going to work out. So they get some keepsakes, some mementums. They will cross the stage. They will get a chance to get their representative of their diploma, which is just the sleeve. They'll get the everybody gets the diplomas in the mail afterwards, after the graduation ceremony on Friday night. But the deal is real simple. They're trying everything they can possibly justify within the very strict safety regulations. And it's going to be, you got to understand this. This is an 18-hour commitment on top of the planning by the staff at Woonsocket High School for 18 hours, 6 hours on Monday, 6 hours on Tuesday, 6 hours on Wednesday, that they're going to be available to come out and take pictures with you. And, of course, it's a big commitment by the Woonsocket Fire Department. It's going to be there making sure that everybody who engages in this is not sick, screening all participants. So, I mean, you just got to understand the complexity of all that. And it took longer to put that together than it did to make the decision about the graduation. So it seemed like you were doing nothing but having a web show. No. And I could tell you lots more things. Now, they added yesterday the grab-and-go senior luncheon at the high school. And obviously they can't sit down congregately. They wish they could, and to each life some disappointment must fall. But they're doing everything they put. So they added 2 more things on top. And there's another thing going on this weekend I swore that I would not say on the radio because it's a wonderful surprise for the class of 2020. And I wish the blazes I could tell you about it because I'm so proud of the Woonsocket Education Department for going this extra mile to do things that are hard, to try to do something for the seniors in real time, not putting it off till July or August or September when some of the kids are, far flung to the 4 winds, but trying to do it right now. So there's disappointment. I understand those who are disappointed. They certainly have every right to say what they want to say about it, and I don't disagree with their right to say it, but I'm just telling you that what I see going on behind the scenes for the class of 2020 here in Woonsocket, I'm very, very, very proud of Woonsocket.
Okay. Well, like anything,
Aren't
Dave.
You glad you asked, Joe?
Yes, I am, actually, because just because it's all new and it's all different, so no matter what they decide to do, someone's not going to be happy.
Oh, of course. It's just life, isn't it, huh?
Yes.
But
yes.
But you know the staff there. I mean, I had a long conversation with Principal Henderson last night, where he's telling me about things that are going on because we're trying to video a lot of these events to be part of the broadcast of the graduation on Friday, next Friday, week from today. And so we have to necessarily have coordination comments in the background. And I told him, I said, Carnell, you guys, I see how much work is going on. And I was on his committee in the beginning, we're talking about just the graduation. And we've been having talks way before when things were just being formulated. So I saw how many hours and how much work and real gut-wrenching decisions are being made. And I am just proud of everything they're doing. And perfect? Absolutely not. Best we can do? I am confident it is.
Yes. So the graduates, if they want their picture taken, I mean, it's not mandatory, but they would have to make a reservation.
Yeah, you call the school department, and you say, okay. Graduating senior, my name is so-and-so, need an appointment to come by. And they'll likely say, is Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday available, best for you? Because in the beginning, of course, there'll be a lot of availabilities. But they'll come to some agreement with you on what time to show up. And it's from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, that's a lot of time there. And you just show up, the seniors will show up in their cap and gowns, correct?
We wish they would, yeah. That makes it all complete. And the very same stage they would have walked across at Barry Field under normal conditions without pandemic is the one that they will be walking across. It's going to be set up on the campus of the high school on Cass Avenue, however.
Gotcha. Paul, you think it's a good idea letting these students get their pictures? I haven't heard of any other communities that are allowing their seniors to have their pictures taken at the school. Have you heard of any?
I think it's a great idea because, let's face it, this is one of life's big milestones. And I just feel so bad for seniors in particular who have been robbed this opportunity because of COVID. There are a lot of districts who are getting creative on how they're recognizing their graduates. But, like Dave, I applaud the administration for coming up with this plan. 20 years down the road from now, hopefully this whole thing will be a distant memory. But
it'll be a trivia question.
Yeah. And having those pictures, it's a big deal for a student to be graduating from high school. Like I said, it's one of the big milestones. So, I know a lot of districts are getting creative. I'm sure that some may be doing something similar, but hats off to the administration for coming up with that. I think it's a good idea.
And I hope a lot of the kids take advantage of being able to go out and have their picture taken on the stage. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yep.
All right, coming down towards the end of the program, and just a couple of more
Time
things
for
we
Joe
want
to bring up silly stuff.
Well, not yet. But just CVS Health is testing autonomous vehicles for prescription delivery. So you could have a robot car come and give you prescriptions to you.
It's pretty cool stuff.
It's real Jetson stuff. I guess they're trying it in Houston. I wonder why they picked Houston, but to test it. But you got to test it somewhere, so why not? So they're going to try that next month.
Might have to do with the straight roads and the volume and the stores and plants that they have there. Might be.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So there is an increased demand for prescription delivery. I can understand that. And so they're going to give customers more choices for quick medication access. So driverless cars going to be delivering your prescriptions. Not a bad. What's that, Paul?
I said it's only the beginning.
Of driverless cars? Yeah, sure. All right. The silly thing, Dave wanted me to bring up something silly. All right. This happened over in Connecticut, and I heard about it a couple of days ago. Woman very upset with another person inside a grocery store, because the other the man, who was basically, I believe, 19, was going the wrong way. You know, they have the arrows on the floor now, and so the woman was mad at the guy who was going the wrong way down the aisle. He wouldn't change which way he was going, so she spit on him.
Oh, yeah, that solved everything, didn't it?
Well, yeah, but she was arrested for it and charged with breach of peace. First she started screaming at him, and then she spat in his face. She actually, and what's ironic is she had to pull down her mask to spit at him.
Yeah.
So yeah, some people just.
Can you imagine if she hadn't?
Well, it would have been pretty disgusting.
It wouldn't have been a story, that's for sure.
We wouldn't be talking about it today. So, yeah, that's what she did. So, some people just like telling other people what they need to do. In fact, Romeo Berthium told us the story. You know, his wife was in the grocery store, and some woman yelled at her because she wasn't wearing a mask. People love to tell you what you should and should not do.
And we get it all the time on the phones. People call up; they're very upset. There's just some people, Joe, that have a lot of hurt in their heart, and they want to share.
Yep. And I know best, and I need to tell you how to live your life, because I've been appointed king or queen, whichever way.
No, it's not that. They don't even think that over. They just think that they're right, and somebody ought to say something. Remember, there's this concept that we've been drilled into us long, long ago, that if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Now, that's not always universally true. But, you know, if you see something wrong and you don't do something about it, shame on you. Well, then, you know, people just use that as an entree to do whatever they think they have to do to set the world right. And, okay, fine. Sometimes that's right with big, large issues. But with individual misbehaviors, you're taking it too far.
I think so. And now you're arrested. So,
yeah.
I mean, she brought a fine, but I mean.
How's that working out for her, huh? Yeah, and now with you being arrested, you think the kid is going to continue? He's going to change his ways, right?
Yeah, no.
He's so shocked by our misbehavior. Seems to me that some kindness would impress him to feel a little guilt in his heart and then amend his ways. But not your being arrested is not going to make a guy feel like he should change his ways. So it's just like it's just crazy. That's all.
Probably not. All right, we've come to the end